them. And so one of the parent tactics is like bring out their keys and like jiggle their keys. The child goes, "Look, play the keys," and they'll go, "I'm not scared anymore," and they'll play the keys. Well, actually, what you're doing is that the amount of threat is not high enough for them to where they're unwilling to have their exploratory system engaged. So you're engaging their exploratory system, like creativity of learning. So they want to grab and play the keys because they want to learn. Because that system's really active when you're young. And so you take the keys, you go like this, and then their attachment system gets deactivated. Their exploratory system gets activated, and they stop crying. Right? Or how about this one? Kids in the back seat, crying, and you grab a passy. By the way, I'm not against passies, but wow, they're amazing. Right? In the back seat, they start sucking passy, and they self-soothe themselves. They actually simulate breastfeeding, right, without the breast and without the person. And so they produce the kind of calming sucking that goes on with breastfeeding that calms them down. But there's a lot of elements missing, even in the self-soothing, the pacifier. And so I don't know. The verdict's still. All my kids have pacifiers. They seem to be okay. But I don't know. The verdict's still out for me on the pacifier. I mean, I know there's times you gotta give your kid a pacifier, but I think parents that over pacify their kids, right? It's like when you can be there and you can offer your breast, you should be offering your breast because it's so different for the child, and it's so different for the parent and the bonding. Do you know that when parents hold their kids, when the mother holds their kid to the breast and they breastfeed them, that there's oxytocin that's released to both the mother and the child that produces a sense of peace and well-being in the child. There's studies that show that when a child is distressed and their blood pressure goes up, their heart rate goes up, the cortisol levels are flowing through their body, and the mother picks them up and holds the child to them tightly, that their hearts begin to synchronize, and that the steady heartbeat of the mother synchronizes the heartbeat of the child. And you know this doesn't end in the child, that they actually took this research and applied it to adults, and the partner reaches over and holds the partner, the hearts begin to synchronize. That's pretty cool, right? Right? Like I'm a heartbeat synchronizer for you. And the steady heartbeat of the one that's not stressed brings the heartbeat of the person down. Also, did you know that the temperature of the mother's breast is the same temperature of the child's feet? When they're held up against each other. So it's pretty amazing, the bonding, and then even the breastfeeding, the eye-to-eye contact, along with the sucking. And so you're receiving both attachment bonding along with nurturance. It's like the best. It's like the best ever, right? Like that's the best moments. You know, and from there you eat and you go on dates and you have candles. And that's like your adult version of breastfeeding, right? You're eating and you're connecting. You're eating and you're connecting. And that's what you do as a child. You eat and you connect. And then you grow up and you eat and you connect. And those people that when you go to the restaurants, they're eating and not talking, they were not breastfed well. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. Okay. There are systematic individual differences in attachment orientation. So Mary Ainsworth, who studied children, came up with 3 different attachment styles, but we're going to look at 4 as adults. For those who are secure, anxious, and avoidant attachment. Okay. All right, so let's talk about Harry Harlow. Have you guys heard of Harry Harlow? If you've been a psych major, you know who Harry Harlow is. He was a scientist who was studying relationships. And honestly, Harry Harlow studied relationships because he was horrible by relationships. He was divorced 4 times. And he couldn't figure out how to make a relationship work. He thought, well, what the heck, I'll study and try to figure it out so I can make relationships work, right? I don't know if he ever made it work, but his studies have really been important for the way we understand attachment. So he raised monkeys with cloth-covered or wire-covered mothers. So he would have a cloth-covered mother and a wire-covered mother, and the wire-covered mother would have a bottle attached to it. And the cloth-covered mother would have any ball attached to it. So that were real mothers that just covered ball. So he wanted to know whether these little rhesus monkeys were more attracted to comfort or to food. Because the assumption at the time was that basically the survival ground for the oxygen and all that stuff. So we'd be more attracted to food. In the individual society, it makes a lot of sense. Infant monkeys spent more time clinging to the cloth mothers for contact comfort compared to the wire ones in the study. So I'll show you in a minute a picture of the study, but these monkeys would hang on to their cloth mothers for 23 or more hours a day. They would only leave the cloth mother if they were starving. And return to the cloth mother immediately. So let me show you a little bit of this experiment. smaller monkeys. It doesn't just still see. Okay, see him on the clock. Well, nice. No, I suck on the thumb. Okay, oh, wait, here.
Oh, no.
Okay, so, move back up. You guys can probably see it. Okay, so this is the wild monkey. You see the bottle right there, and this is the pop monkey. So when the human will let go of the monkey would actually cling to the human, and when you push him to the cage and close the door, well, the next best thing outside of human contact was going to be the pop. And so they just sort of cling to the pop, and they would actually suck their thumbs to simulate, right, a connection with another human being or their monkey mother. So then what they did is they actually took away the cloth monkey, and I think they just left the wired monkey, and they wanted to see what would happen with total deprivation of any sort of comfort for these monkeys. Because this next scene is a monkey that was left with total deprivation of comfort. There's other monkeys in the corner. Well-adjusted severe monkeys. He's like, that's really hard to watch, right? I have adult clients that I work with that are just like that. It's just adult version. The inability to connect. Any form of approach there is met with withdrawal and resistance, a deep uncomfortableness with any amount of contact, especially emotional contact. Touch is threatening. Have you guys ever seen Lars and the Real Girl? If you've seen Lars and the Real Girl, you've got to see it, not seen it. There's a wonderful scene in that movie where Lars, he has this mannequin girlfriend that he gets. It's a sex doll, but he's not actually having sex with the doll. He's just using it as a surrogate attachment. And so in this movie, there's a scene where he's actually engaging with this doctor, and the doctor is sitting with him, and this is real human contact. So he's using this mannequin as a bridge between isolation and real human contact. His parents died, and it's really young. So he uses this mannequin, and he's sitting with this doctor, and the doctor comes over to him and goes, "Give me a picture of him for a second." And the doctor has his hand, and he goes, "Okay, all right, okay." And then she touches it, he goes, "Ow, ow, 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 ow." Right? And then he goes, and she keeps touching it, and he goes, "Oh, okay, I can handle this, right?" If you see the movie, it's an amazing scene because it's it looks very similar to this monkey. That any sort of human contact or connection emotionally, verbally, physically is just too painful because the monkey was wired for war. Right? Everyone that is human is both unfamiliar and a threat. And so I have to do what I can do guys like this.
I was just thinking about a client that I had worked with for a while who has a fairly serious sexual addiction, and the only way he can touch people is if he pretty much is in a dissociative sexual act. But he says to hug somebody, or to even like touch my hand to shake it, he says it internally falls apart. And because he's severely neglected as a child,
Right.
he didn't have any sort of healthy framework for touch. So.
Right, that's a great example. What do you think of the most intimate physical features? Eyes, mouth, and eyes, and overall face. People will say breasts, and no, it's not. The most vulnerable features that we have are the ones we expose each other all the time. It's in our eyes, it's in our face, it's in our smile, it's in our lips, right? It's like pornography, people will kiss in pornography because it's intimate. There's no face-to-face contact. It's all very sexual in its nature. So the reason I keep bringing back pornography, but we have a sexual addiction treatment provider program, and so I've taught in it, so I know quite a bit about it. This is not self-disclosure. All right, so what is attachment? Well, it's all about proximity. Right? finding that person that's the good enough, not perfect, but the good enough parent, good enough partner, who's, get this, ready? I want to get this, who's accessible, who's responsive, and who's engaged. A-R-E-R. They are accessible, responsive, engaged, just good enough. In times of pain and gain, they don't miss those. And they can make mistakes in some of the other areas, but they don't miss those big times. And for the most part, they make themselves accessible, responsive, engaged. So my wife, right, she goes in for a mammogram, and never she needs to brought Gene, I go with her. Because I don't want to be there, I don't want to not be there at the time that they say, hey, there's something we need to look at again. And I've been doing this for years. And this time I was there with them. So they said, hey, we have this. She looks at me as if anxious. Right? In this moment. And then when we get the doctor's call, she knew the doctor would call for the biopsy. And so I would not let her be alone. So she came to my office and I said, we're going to sit here and we're going to go anywhere. Phone call comes in, I said, put on speakerphone. Tell her, right? The first thing she does is she looks at me and tears start running down my face, right? And tears start running down my face. It's like, we're gonna resonate here. Right? Well, I'm not gonna miss this. This could leave permanent damage if I'm not in this room when this happens. Right? So my wife goes to surgery, who's the last person that she saw. Right? Holding her hand all the way there. It was really funny, they gave her the drug, you know, and like everyone else said goodbye, was in the room, and then they gave her this like feel good drug. And so I was gonna say goodbye to her. Well, she was like, we gave her like, honey, I love you so much, and I'll be here for you when you get back. She's like, all right. She didn't remember that part. Her friend was really attached. After later, do you remember when I said goodbye to you? She goes, no, I don't remember any of that. Oh, jeez, it was really sad too. I told them, I said, when she comes out, I want to be there. And they go, well, she'll be in the prep room. No one can go in there because it's high confidentiality. Right? I'm like, well, that sucks. So then I had to sit there for like an hour and a half while she was waking up, and she didn't even know, you know, she's by herself in her room. And as soon as they allowed me to go up, I like sprinted in the room. Well, good enough. I mean, she didn't remember any of that because even she didn't remember when I came back until later. But then I just sat there and I held her hand, and I knew that there was a part of herself that was receiving the pain, even if she couldn't consciously. So she was so sweet too when I showed up, and she's just a sweet person. It's funny when you're on drugs, probably the part of who you really are comes out. And so she was sitting there, and the first thing she did when I walked in the room, she reached up and she touched my face. She goes, "You're so sweet." She started rubbing my face, and I'm like, I just had surgery. You're sweet too. Awesome. And I'd like to think it was an extension of the bond that we have before she went through this trauma. You know, it has been ever since she's in her recovery. That I'm just not going to miss anything, right? I might phone on me if she needs me, but I'm leaving you guys, right? I'm not going to miss it. And so those are the things that are really important. So proximity and time with Fred became more important for her. So I had to predict, like, what is this going to mean for you? And it's not just that everybody would think that was scary. I think everyone would think that was scary. But it's based more on perception. It's less about the reality. You know, and so if my wife is perceiving something being scary, it's not scary to me. I still need to respond from her perspective. Because in this, when it comes to attachment, perspective is what matters, not reality. So it's very important that the good enough caregiver that's accessible, responsive, and engaged is able to offer accessibility, responsiveness, and engagement in times in which there's perceived threat or perceived gain. And how do you figure that out? Well, you get to know the person really well. If you know the person really well, then you can predict those things, right? Like breast cancer is a duh, right? Everyone can get that. But there's been other times in a marriage where I've missed things that were perceived from her perspective that were really important, right? You guys can watch, was This Is Us? Is that
Oh,
this?
yeah.
Okay, so there's this great scene this last week where, how many of you guys have seen it? It's great. If you haven't seen it, This Is Us. It's a
That's
great
the
marriage
first
thing.
time.
So anyways, there's this couple, and the child is having this chess tournament. You guys, you always watch this one? Okay. Well, we'll get too much away. The child has a chess tournament, and the husband has to go back to work. He walks in and is explaining this to his wife, and the wife looks at him